Hi, Stacy. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, and oracle card advisor. How are you today? I think you've been around enough. You know how I work. You know, I see, hear, feel, blah blah blah. Hear them. Spiritual charades, the pictures. I don't get names correctly, so if I say a name, don't throw the whole reading at. You might have to think outside the box a little bit. It's just the way it works. This is not an exact science, and I think I do so many readings I don't remember who I do or what I say, but I think I did your brother like on Talk to Me Tuesday or something. So if I repeat something, it's not because I remember it, it's because that's what he's showing me. So this is a whole new ball game. So let's see what your brother Steve has to say. And I wish I would have done this yesterday. I thought I had time set up where I was going to get it done yesterday. Didn't even notice that it was the anniversary of him leaving. Sorry about that. Evidently it wasn't meant to be. So, let's see what he's got going. He's coming in. He's coming in and he's playing a set of bongos. Like the big bongos. Not sure why he's doing this, at least not yet. Don't think he played in a band or anything. It doesn't seem like that. Okay. This is a noise you're going to hear. Maybe if you get on YouTube or something, it's... Oh, crap, I'm trying to think of the name of the drums. There's two of them, so you can use each hand. But they're not the little short bongos like you set in your lap, like I had as a kid as a toy. They're the big long ones. Big long ones. And I've actually seen people carry them in a marching band. They can, but they're the longer, taller ones that they use more in a... Yeah, crap, our high school band has them. I don't know what kind of drum they're called. So what I was trying to get at was go to YouTube or something, or Google first the taller drums. Usually they're on a stand and somebody stands there and they're almost touching the floor, but they're that high. Good God, I'm terrible at describing these. Anyway, Google what it is, then go to YouTube and listen to that sound. The sound you're going to hear is going to be much, much softer. It should be anyway. And anytime you see a drum, I don't think it'll be just any drum. I think it'll have to be more like a bongo type drum. Maybe not the really tall one, but a bongo type, where somebody's using their hands. That's going to be one of his signs. I don't know why he picked that out. Maybe you do. It's not for me to know. Anyway, the noise of it, and you'll be just walking along. And you might be walking down the street. And there might be somebody down the street sitting on the sidewalk playing one of these. It'll be everywhere. It'll be Facebook, whatever, TV. That'll be a sign from him, and tell him you love him. So acknowledge the sign. He'll bring you more. And I really try to stress signs to people, because people don't understand. You're getting signs all the time from your loved ones. They're trying to get your attention to go, hey, I'm still here, I love you. So you ask about if he had guidance for your oldest son. He's okay. He's showing himself, putting his arms around your son. And your son turns around and looks like, who's there? Who's touching me? Why do I feel somebody here? Do you know how you feel somebody staring at you from across the room? Only it's usually the bad stare, like the angry stare. Somebody's grouchy with you, and you turn around and there's somebody staring at you. You feel that. That's what your son feels. He feels him there. And then he turns around and goes, well, there's nobody here. I don't know why I got the chills. I don't know why I'm feeling the willies. So your brother is that close to your son. He says, now he turns your son around and he's facing him. Now this is probably not actually happening, but this is what he's trying to show that he's trying to do in a way. I know that didn't come out right, but he turns your son around. They're looking at each other, and your son is looking the other way. He won't look at him. He won't look at him. He's not listening. He doesn't want to hear it. I don't know that your son actually realizes that he's there, but the little thoughts that are coming into his head about what your brother thinks that he should do, he's ignoring them. He's looking the other way. Nope, not going to do that. Nope. I don't know how old your son is, but this sounds like a typical teenage young one. He says just love him unconditionally. Now he's showing that he's grabbing your son by the shoulders and trying to almost force him. Listen to me. Listen to the thoughts that we're sending you. Nope, not going to do it. So, okay. He says, just love him unconditionally. Don't harp on him. He's going to make some of his own mistakes. You have to allow him to do that because that's the only way he's going to learn. He says they, and when he says they, that's why I'm saying it that way, there's somebody else there. It's a grandma type figure. Don't know if it's your grandma or your son's grandma. Elderly lady when she passed. She's appearing very short. I'm not going to go into full-blown description of her. I'm not going to say really skinny, but she was very frail when she finally left. She's also there providing her love to your son, along with your brother. It appears that she's allowing Steve to be the one to give advice because he's the boy. Sorry, something popped up and made me lose track. Your brother says he's going to be all right. Just let him fall on his face a little bit and be there to pick him up, because we all do it. That's how he's going to learn that that's not what he wants to do. And he says he's going to learn that. He will learn that that's not what he wants to do. He will be okay, and he gives a thumbs up. He says he does need to clean his room up. Oh my gosh, I think I think I remember that part of the reading. Uh-oh. Here we go. Alright, he says, Steve also has an uncle with him. An uncle. And I should say uncle type figure. A lot of times when I say there's a grandfather figure, sometimes your next door neighbor can feel more like a grandfather than your real grandfather who's across the country that you don't hardly ever see. So it's not always blood, but it's usually who you have that connection with. And that's why I kind of leave it open. And I know that sounds very vague, but I won't try to make it, I won't force it to fit. Can't do that. he is funny. He walks up behind you like if he was standing behind me, and he sticks his hands out behind you, kind of almost over to the sides of your head, and goes, boo, 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 brrr. You might actually hear a sound that sounds like boo, just out of thin air. Or you might feel that presence of some, like I just said, how you can feel somebody staring at you. You can also feel them behind you. Like I used to do that all the time, and I'd turn around, there wouldn't be anybody there. There was, I just couldn't see him. So you might actually feel his presence, or feel like a really deep warmth straight down your back, or you might get the goosebumps. You might get a chill. Usually, I don't think they really give you like a chill. Be more like goosebumps, like electric. That's from their energy. And usually, you get a lot hotter. Like when Bob comes up close, my ear turns bright red on the outside, and it burns just like it's on fire. And he hasn't done that lately. He's in trouble. Okay, he's showing me a kitten. It's lighter colored. It's not white, but it's a lighter color. More like a really light tannish, orangish, off-white. Can't tell absolutely for sure. And then he mentions a rainbow. Rainbow and Skittles. But I'm still seeing the cat, so I don't know the connection. I hope you do. He wants you to be careful driving your car. He doesn't want you to hit too many potholes with it, and he doesn't want you to splash through the mud puddles and get it dirty. I love him. He says, "Are you making fun of me, Rhonda?" No, I'm not. I love it. Oh, he's pretty cool. He says he wants you to start walking around the house and singing. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. And actually clap your hands. And he wants you to go through the whole song. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, whatever. I don't remember what all the verses are. And the actual the actual singing of the song, even if you're madder than hell or if you're bawling your eyes out. That's the best times to do it. He wants you to get up. He says, get up off your duff, walk around the house, sing that song, do the actual motions, do the actual clapping as loud as you can, stomping your feet as loud as you can. You'll probably prefer to do this when nobody's there. But he wants you to do this because it actually breaks up energy. It actually breaks up the bad energy. And when you're singing a happy song and you're clapping your hands, it's, how do I explain this? I've never seen anybody do this before, but this is a damn good idea. It just changes the energy. The doing this and stomping the feet and singing an uplifting song. He says, open the curtains too. Actually will change the energy in the room. I promise you. He's right. And I do it to my girlfriend at work. She's in the kitchen cooking and she's grumpy, and I'll look in the window and I'll go, I'm going to sing the happy song and I'm not going to quit until you smile and clap your hands. And it changes her mood. She still goes back to being a little grumpy, but I get her to smile for a minute. That's what he wants you to do. He's talking about oatmeal and Cheerios. Oatmeal and Cheerios. He points at Grandma and he says oatmeal. So I don't know, did Grandma used to make you guys oatmeal when you went to visit her? My grandma did, and then we actually went. So I don't know if this is related, but sometimes they'll reference something that I need to stretch it out from what my grandma did. So anyway, my grandma used to go across town, get actual cow's milk from a guy who had a milking cow, bring it home, you set it down, you let the cream rise to the top, you take that cream off the top of it, you put it on your oatmeal. Oh my God, the best stuff in the world. So for some reason that popped in my head when he said oatmeal and Grandma, so I don't know. Anyway, there's usually a reason for that. He's mentioning asparagus and that it smells. I don't know, hope you can validate it. I love my readings. They try to bring me new stuff for you guys. There's somebody in your family he wants you to go look after or check on. I feel like it's a male. I think. I can't tell how old he is. He's not showing me actually older male. He wants you to check in on him a little more often. He says busy, busy, busy lives. But we need to do our part in it. And he actually shows himself going over and sitting with this male. I want to say it's a grandfather type figure, but don't hold me to that 100%. I'm not getting it clear enough to say for sure. He mentions Ozzie and Harriet. That's an old show. I know you guys can't be as old as I am. Ozzie and Harriet. So maybe there's a couple that you know that are kind of like, maybe people call them Ozzie and Harriet or something. Or that might be somebody's name, one of those. he's showing me a church. He's showing me steps out in front of the church. There's a bride and a groom coming out of the church. So you either somebody recently got married or they're just about to get married. And he's acknowledging that he's going or was there. I think usually at things like weddings that there's so much going on that they try to make their presence known, but there's too much going on, so you just don't realize, you don't see the signs that they actually attend those things. He says to make hay while the sun shines. He's referring to my pile of papers all over. I have a stack of papers over there on the case that I'm working on, and I have my calendar there, and then I have notes here for the readings I'm working on. Then I have a notebook and a whole pile of little crap underneath it that I have notes and stuff. I don't know why I'm keeping it there. He says you and I both need to get our shit organized. We need to do a better job of organizing our affairs, our paperwork. Yeah, maybe he needs to pop in over here and help me. He would like my mom. My mom is the most organized, the most OCD, neat freak in the world that you've ever seen. She even dusted her attic. I mean, good God. So, they would get along. He's mentioning, he loves your car. He's mentioning something on the left rear of your car. And he's showing it kind of jacked up there, so you might want to check that tire. Check the left rear tire. Because he shows the car kind of, but I'm seeing it from the other side, so I can't see what's really happening on the other side of the car. But the only reason I could think that it would be jacked up like that would be because you're having to change the tire. So it doesn't hurt to check. He says, all in all, you are a great person. You are a wonderful person. I wish I'd spent more time with you. I wish we'd stopped our busy, busy lives and had more conversations. I know I nitpicked on you too much, but I did it out of love. Because I thought you needed it. He says, but you need to do the opposite with your son. You need to be the laid back one. You need to not nitpick and pressure and just watch and wait. He says, I love you. I love you and didn't tell you enough. But I'm still roaming around, checking your stuff out, keeping an eye on you, overseeing you and your stuff. He says he really didn't care about stuff, but he's keeping an eye. Ocean, ocean, oceans of fun. Ocean. Something about an ocean. I don't know where you live. I don't know that there's an ocean. Are you taking a trip to the ocean? And now we have a place an hour away from me that's called Oceans of Fun. And part of it's a huge amusement park. It's Worlds of Fun. And then there's Oceans of Fun where all the water rides. And it's a huge deal with a big wave pool and all these water things. So I don't know if he's referring to something like that. Sometimes they'll refer to stuff that I know. Cannot tell if this is a memory for him or this is something you're getting ready to do and he's going to be there. Oh, he's showing himself laying back on a beach towel with his swimming trunks on. So wherever this Oceans of Fun type thing is, he's going to be there. Kicked back with his sunglasses on. And there's going to be water. And of course, if you go to a place like this, there's going to be water splashing everywhere. But just out of nowhere with nothing around, you're going to get a splash of water. That'll be from him. And he's laughing hysterically. He says, you were my pal, my buddy, my go-to with my secrets, because I trusted you. And now I can be your go-to with your secrets. He can hear you. You can talk to him. He will try to send you some kind of sign to acknowledge that not every single thing you say to him, but the important things, he'll try to send you something. Something will usually happen. Talk to him, then ask him to show you some kind of acknowledgement and just see what you get. So you may not get it every time, but even if it's something really little, like he's showing a feather floating down in front of me, so you could be sitting there talking to him, and I've literally had it happen sitting right here out of the blue. This little piece of white fluff, it probably wasn't a feather, it ended up landing, I caught it on my fingernail as it floated down in front of me, and he's showing me something like that. And I've had him do that outside too. I'll be sitting there, and of course there's birds outside, but just one feather will just right in front of you. So he's referencing something like that will happen once in a while. As an acknowledgement. Whistling. You're going to hear whistling in your house, like a person whistling. And it'll be very, very soft, and you'll know, what the heck was that noise? And if you think about it, it's going to sound like somebody whistling real soft in the other room. And again, he goes, boo. I always told you that I would come back and haunt you. He's a sweetheart. He says, now let me help you from here. bitchy. Okay, tell her. He wants me to tell you, you have to ask them and you have to allow them because you have your free will choice. They cannot override that. They cannot force things to happen. It has to be something that your free will allows to happen, but you need to ask them and tell them it's okay. You give them permission. And it doesn't mean it'll always happen every time, because some things that just aren't supposed to happen. And I don't know how to explain that any further. Anyway, he says, I'll be around. I am around. Check that tire. He's going to make sure you know he's around. So he's leaving. Let me know. Let me know if any of this is validated. I try not to do my whole reading just getting things that you can validate, because that doesn't leave time for the message. And they always have a message. They always have a message of love for you. Always. Even the grumpy ones. They figure out when they get there, it's all about love. So, okay, let me know. I'll try to get this loaded today. And sorry for the wait, but I've been really booked up, so I'm trying to get caught up. See you later. Much love to you. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, and oracle card advisor. See you later.